Welcome back to the Garden Hutch. This is week 18 and we have the old garden planted. This week we're going to talk about some things that we got accomplished and kind of recap on what we did over the last few days. Let's get started. So I said earlier, week 18's been amazing. We got the old garden complete. We've got a lot of interplanting that I wanted to give you a close-up of and discuss what we did in our new raised bed that we were growing some awesome greens in, and just kind of give you an idea of what our transition into summer looks like. So let's get started. So first I wanted to take a look at this raised bed. We had onions, we had mustard greens and turnip greens in this bed. And this week we kind of went through and cleared all of that out. We didn't get a lot of turnips. We got a few, which we ate last night. They were so tasty, so good. But we just kind of wanted to do a transition over and see what we can grow in here. We did keep some of the onions in here. As you can tell, we kind of went in and trim them back because we're going to let the onion bulbs go to a head and see how big we can get these guys. And then we also came in and planted some tomatoes and some peppers. So I kind of wanted to show you what we've got in here. These four on this end are some Roma tomatoes. We've got 4 Romas. Of course, we love to can and make pasta sauce, tomato sauce out of the Romas. They have a great flavor. So we thought we would keep some Romas in here and just kind of see what they do in this bed. On the end down here, we've got some parsley. We put it on the end just because we had that empty space and we wanted to see how big it would get as well. And then we also, on this side, we have 2 pimento peppers that we had started from seed. Super excited about pimento peppers. This is our first year trying those and growing them, so we'll see what happens with those. And then on the end, we put in some just regular jalapenos. I, for some reason, have acquired a taste for spicy. Never enjoyed it in the past. It always bothered me. Couldn't handle it. But for some reason, taste buds changed. So we picked up some jalapeno peppers at the Master Gardener's plant sale this weekend, and we thought we would go ahead and start those. Our goal is to keep them away from our notapenos, which have the flavor of a jalapeno without the heat. We definitely don't want there any crossing over on those because we want to make sure the notapenos don't acquire any heat, but the jalapenos keep theirs. So this top bed, we had goals to put in some tomatoes, cherry tomatoes that'll climb up this trellis to see how well they do, how long they get, how many tomatoes we can get off of them. So interspersed in here are some Dancing with Smurfs, which are a black or purple cherry tomato. We also have some yellow pear, and then we have Sweet Millions in here. So in front of that, we've got some basil. We've got a few onions that we put in. And then next to that, we've got some pollinating plants. We've got some radishes that we went ahead and started a rotation on in between the pollinators. As we talked about before, we're discussing interplanting, maximizing your space, making sure that we get as much as we can out of the beds as we go throughout the season. And then further down, we've got some onions. And then on the very end is our green beans, our bush beans. They did get a little burned up in the sun yesterday. I will say we had some wild temperatures this weekend. Humidity went up. It was just crazy. So this, of course, is our potato bed. It's doing amazing. These potatoes are starting to bloom. Again, we have no idea how many pounds of potatoes we're going to get out of this bed, but the growth is phenomenal. But what we wanted to really show you is our interplanting that we did down here on the other end. So we went through and put in rotated turnips and radishes and lettuce. Every other row is a different veggie, and we're hoping to get another round of those spring veggies and greens for our salad mix. So far, so good. Everything's came up. It's beautiful. We're just ready to see what happens with this end. Our bottom row is going to be mainly cucumbers. On one end, we put some pickling cucumbers. As you all know, I love to pickle. My pickles are amazing. Not to brag, but word gets around and everybody loves my pickles. So, of course, we have to share. But the other side is our slicing cucumbers. And we just want to see how many we get out of this bed this year. Prior to this year, we planted them in the top beds. They crowded out a lot of things in this bottom bed, so we wanted to rotate them, see how many things we can get out of this bottom bed and how well they do. So we'll see how that goes. But in front of the cucumbers, we went in and put in some lettuce. So again, we want to interplant. We want to make sure that we maximize our space. We had all that lettuce that we had started, so we plugged it in, hoping to get another round of lettuce to keep our ongoing salads going throughout the summer. We also have some pollinators. We put in some onions in between the pollinators. We've also got our dill. Dill is important when it comes to pickling, so we have to have our dill, and fresh dill is amazing. So it adds a pop of flavor. It helps to ferment the pickles the way I want them flavored as well, and just they add so much value to this bed. Another thing that we got done this week was planting some grass seed. So, as you can tell, our walkways have a lot of topsoil. We've got a lot of hills and runoff happens whenever there's rain. So our goal was, okay, how can we keep this topsoil from running off when we have those heavy rains? What can we do to manage that to where we're not having to come in and do a lot of maintenance all the time? So we decided to get a mix of sun and shade grass seed, and we came in and watered it in, spread it all through here so we can make sure that we get a nice luscious mound and root support so we don't get that crazy runoff. So hopefully in the coming weeks we'll start to see grass growth in here. Of course, we're going to come in and make sure that we don't have any weeds along the base of the beds, but also have that layer of grass seed in the walkways. And of course, we're going to keep it mowed down a little bit and keep it nice and low, but we're hoping that it gives a nice aesthetic to these beds. So just to recap, we got a lot done in week 18 in this old garden. It is done, it's complete, we are ready for the summer season. So we redid the new raised bed. It's looking great. Tomatoes, peppers, parsley, onions are in there. Our top row is doing great with all the interplanting of pollinators, radishes, tomatoes, basil, and green beans. Potato bed is looking great. The other end is also interplanted with our spring greens to see how much we can get for our salads. Of course, we've got our pollinator beds over here to bring in those awesome insects that are going to help pollinate our veggies. And our cucumber bed is looking amazing. So hopefully in the coming weeks again, you're going to be able to see all this grass seed and it's going to look phenomenal. So as always, we appreciate you hanging out with us this week, kind of giving you a taste of what we've got going on. And we look forward to sharing this information with you as we move forward. Please like, subscribe. We really enjoy it. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we will catch you on the flip side.